Kabrika! Welcome to this third video in our series on the five senses. Today we're going to talk about our sense of sight. Now we have learned some of these words before, but I have an exciting kind of virtual tour planned for you. Are you ready? Let's get started. Now the body part responsible for your sense of sight is aku, I. And the verb to see you have learned before, but let's review it one more time. To see, era. I see, dakera. I saw, dakera itpa. I will see, dakera ina. Now let's take a virtual tour of this luxury home, boharak, house. Now there's no way I've been in a house like that, but I got some copyright-free images online, so let's pretend we're on a tour. We'll learn some new Taino words along the way. Let's start in the dining room. Kateí buk'erá, what do you see? Dakera hek bureka, I see a table. Dakera duhoyabi nagu, I see chairs. Now in our Taino variant, duhoyabi is the word for chair. It comes from the original Taino word duho. The duho was the chief's chair, cacique at duhoyabi. Here on the screen, you see a couple examples of a duho that are in museums nowadays. In Taino culture, the chief or cacique would sit on this chair that was a little bit higher off the ground, just a few inches. But it was a place of honor because most other Tainos sat on the ground. When there were important guests, they would also sit on a duho so that they were elevated almost like a show of respect. Now let's continue with the dining room to talk about what else we see. Kateí buk'erá, what do you see? Dakera vino yu, I see white wine. Now as you can tell, the word for wine, vino, comes from the Spanish. This is a loan word. Kateí buk'erá, what do you see? Dakera bero ninagu, I see glasses. Now please note that the word beroni can refer to a glass, a cup, or a mug. It's a drinking vessel. Kateí buk'erá, what do you see? Dakera ima, I see food. Are you ready for the next part of the tour? Let's head on over to the living room. Kateí buk'erá, what do you see? Dakera hek butaka, I see a sofa. Now all you Boricua out there may not be surprised to know that butaca is a Taino word. I know that growing up, my parents said butaca for couch. They never used the Spanish word sofá. So, super interesting. This word came into the Spanish language originally from a Carib language. Now the Cumanagoto people are a group of Native Americans native to Venezuela. Their language is part of the Carib language family, which occupies this area of the map. It's right up at the top near all of our Arawakan sister languages. That's where our Taino ancestors came from. So you know that this is a Taino word that originally came from the continent of South America. Isn't it cool that this word butaca has survived until this day? Now let's continue with our tour of the living room. Kateí buk'erá, what do you see? Dakera vino ita, I see red wine. Dakera guatu, I see fire. Now let's finish our luxury home tour with a quick peek into the kitchen. Kateí buk'erá, what do you see? Dakera hek guatuburen, I see a stove. You may have noticed something interesting about the word guatuburin, stove. It is made up of two words, guatu, fire, and burin. Now, what is a burin? Well, it was the traditional Taino ceramic griddle. The Taino used to cook all kinds of things on this ceramic griddle. They would do the casabe like you see on the screen, or any type of other cooking that could be done on a flat surface. Traditionally, you can still see a burin in use in a lot of indigenous cultures, such as for making tortillas. So isn't it cool that we can use some of the old words, put them together to create a new word for a new technology that didn't exist in the 1400s? So, while we did our tour at that luxury home, we learned a lot of new Taino words along the way. Let's take a quick look back at everything we learned today. It was definitely a lot. Aku, I. Aku nagu, eyes. Era, to see. Dakera, I see. Boharak, house or home. Bureka, table. Duho, chief's chair. Duhoyabi, chair. Duhoyabi nagu, chairs. Beroni, cup, mug, or glass. Beroni nagu, cups, mugs, or glasses. Bino, wine. Bino yu, white wine. Bino ita, red wine. Ima, food. Guatu, fire. Burin, ceramic griddle. Guatuburin, stove. Butaca, sofa or couch. So, do you want to make sure to remember these words and not forget them? I have a tip for you. Why don't you label the things around your house with these words? You can label your butaca, your guatuburin, and any other items around your home using some simple labels. Want to continue learning Taino in a fun way? Get buk'erá hawa borikenaiki. We learn borikenaiki, a fun activity book that includes charts, word searches, coloring pages, and many more interactive activities. Written by El Maldonado and Malulani Bosch, this activity book contains 79 pages of Taino language learning fun. The profits will be donated to the Arayeke Yukayek's GoFundMe page for the cultural center that is planned by this Taino community in Boriquen, Puerto Rico. Thank you so much to the community members who suggested that I cover the 5 senses. As always, I can't thank you enough for joining me week after week here. I love learning Taino. I'm doing it as I create these videos, so you all are doing me a favor too. And I know together, we can learn Taino. In the meantime, Taikara ya guaitiao nagu.